Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes lots of eyeshadow palettes. It's my all-time favorite makeup. Well, that and highlighter are my favorite. And today I want to share with you my top 10 eyeshadow palettes for summer. These are the ones that I tend to reach for the most during the summer months. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I will link all 10 eyeshadow palettes down below for you. I think all of these are still available, but if they're not, all of the information, links, all of that will be down below for you, as well as my favorite beauty subscription boxes, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video, if you would like to recreate this look, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let's talk about my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes for summer. When I think summer, I think bright, fun, colorful. I don't necessarily think neutral, but I do think neutral with a pop of color, kind of similar to what I'm wearing today. And spoiler alert, I'm wearing one of my top 10 palettes for summer today. So I'll make sure I let you know when we get there what palette is on my eyes. So let's go ahead and start out first with my all-time favorite indie brand, Unearthly Cosmetics. I actually have a couple of their palettes in today's video. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics Vitality palette. Now this came out last year, and this to me is just quintessential summer. Look at this. We have bright shades. We have a little bit of mid-tone shades. We have deeper shades. All of these really fun, bright, summery shades just draw me in and make me think of summer. We have mattes. We have shimmers. This is an absolutely beautiful palette with an absolutely incredible formula. Unearthly makes my favorite formula for eyeshadow. I pretty much own everything from them. And this palette I really like because there's neutrals with pops of color. Like I said, it's nice to do kind of a neutral look and then pop a color on the lower lash line or a colorful shimmer, and this palette to me is all my summer dreams come true. Now next up is another indie brand. You're gonna see a lot of indie brand palettes because that's my favorite kind of eyeshadow formula. This one is from one of my other favorite indie brands, Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and this is the Lure palette. I mean, look how beautiful she is. I love these ocean beachy colors, these blues, these teals, these purples. I love that we go from light to mid-tone to deep, and then this top row is gorgeous shimmers. I mean, the formula of this is incredible. And again, the color story to me just screams summer. It actually on the back says 24 shades for the mermaid within. And I definitely get mermaid vibes from this. And again, there's neutral colors in here. There's colorful colors in here. The purples in this palette are spot on, gorgeous. Love. From another indie brand, Glam Light. This is the Strawberry Shortcake palette, Berry-licious. Now this also came out this year, a little bit earlier in the year. And what I like about this palette for summer is the berry tones with the pops of green. I think pinks, berry tones, red tones are really, really pretty in summer. And the formula of this one is the typical amazing Glam Light formula. It is so, so good. And I love, again, that it goes from light to mid-tone to deep. I love the pinks, the reds. This bright pink matte right here, she is beautiful paired with this duochrome shimmer. Again, absolutely a stunning palette. Now, a lot of times in summer, I'll go for a lighter look or a no makeup look. And when I want just a lighter eye look, I reach for my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. This palette is my favorite from Huda Beauty. I like the Mercury Retrograde palette, but when she came out with this one, the color story and how beautiful this applies to the eyes, I love this. And I don't buy a lot of mainstream makeup palettes anymore. I stick with indie, but I find that I reach for this a lot, especially during the summer, because it is a little bit more pinky, a little bit more light, a little bit more airy, and you can deepen it up with some of these deep mattes and some of these deeper shimmers. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette for that kind of ethereal, no makeup lighter look for summer. Now, I mentioned that I love the pinks, the berry tones for summer, and I really like this Jacqueline Cosmetics Strawberry Feels palette. Now this came out last year. I know that this palette is still available. This one is going to speak to my neutral lovers because this is a very neutral palette with just some pops of berry. However, like I mentioned, I love a neutral eye look in summer with a pop of color. So sometimes I'll put some of these deeper pink shade, these deeper shades down on my lower lash line to draw in a little bit of berry. This white is beautiful to blend out and make it a little bit more lighter, ethereal look. The formula of this palette and the mattes is really good. Now the shimmers, They're okay. They're not the best shimmers in the world. They're definitely not indie quality shimmers. There is only 2 in the palette. I always use both of them when I create a look. But overall, I really like this palette for summer, and I do reach for this a lot. And I have a huge eyeshadow palette collection, well over 200. Now for the palette that I have on my eyes today, that is the Beauty Bay New Mood palette. Now, Beauty Bay is so affordable. It is like drugstore prices for an amazing formula, and I love this New Mood palette. This came out last year as well, and I typically buy most of the Beauty Bay palettes because they're usually $20 and under for these big palettes, and the formula is fantastic. This is the palette I have on my eyes today. I use this fun peachy shade here. I use this kind of brown neutral shade, this blue shade on my lower lash line. I actually have this in on my crease for shimmers, this in my inner corner. I just used all the palettes, all the colors in this palette today to create this look. And this is another one of those really pretty fun palettes for summer that have bright shades, bright yellow, bright pink, bright green, have neutrals, and then have a little bit more subdued shades. So I feel like you can get some beautiful, colorful, and neutral looks with this palette. And like I said, the formula is really, really good. This is a newer palette to my collection. And like I said, I have a big collection, and I've actually reached for this several times to my surprise. And this is the Too Faced Italian Spritz palette. Love the tin packaging. That is what I think of when I think of Too Faced. And this palette, again, perfect for summer. We have lots of pinks, lots of corals. When I think summer, I think corals, blues, teals, purples, turquoises, berries, and this palette has them all. And the formula of this palette is actually really, really, really good. You can see I have used her a lot. I really like this palette. This is a great palette for travel because it has everything from neutral to colorful. This blue shimmer up here is so pretty. It just reminds me of the summer sky. This palette is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. Now, another indie brand that I don't own a lot from, I think only 1 or 2 palettes, actually 2, maybe 3 palettes, is Give Me Glow Cosmetics, and this is the Nightlife palette. Now, this came out last year, and this palette is so fun. I mean, we're talking greens, blues. Love this pop of yellow right here. The shimmers in this palette, they're exquisite. They're absolutely shifty and beautiful and bright and bold. And like I said, I just love the color story. It reminds me of a summer night out on the town, summer night down at the beach, a little girls' night out, a little date night. And the mattes in this palette, they're a little bit powdery, so I like to tap my brush off before applying. I actually have a tutorial of this palette on my channel. If I have tutorials of any of these palettes, I'll link those videos down below for you too. But I love this, and I need to use this more. And as soon as I thought of summer, this is one of the first palettes that I thought about. Back to Unearthly Cosmetics. I could have probably done a whole video on Unearthly Cosmetics, and that is the Strawberry Milkshake palette. Again, this is those berries, but this one has a little bit more color. So we've got a yellow sparkle shade, we've got a lavender sparkle shade, we've got a white up here again to kind of loosen up and give that more ethereal look. And I just love, again, the berry tones, the greens, the yellows, the purples. They are perfect for summer. And when I think summer fruit, I think strawberries. And again, Strawberry Milkshake palette, love this. The formula, 10 out of 10 out of 10 per usual with Unearthly. And last, but certainly not least, we have another indie palette from Oden's Eye Cosmetics. This is the Solmane 2. Now this palette actually came out last year. I know I have a tutorial on this, so I'll link it down below for you. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Neutrals, purples, blues, yellows, and oranges, all of those sunny, fun summer colors. I love the blues in here, the purples, and Oden's Eye shimmers, multi-chromes, duochromes are absolutely, hands down, some of the best indie shadows out there. And this palette, I would say, is probably my all-time favorite from Oden's Eye, and I own a lot of Oden's Eye palettes. I love this. I don't know if this is still available. I actually have a brand new one of these still in the package that came in a mystery box, and I already owned the palette. I'll link it down below. If you guys are interested in purchasing it, you can grab it. This may actually not be available any longer. Like I said, all of that information will be in the description box, but if you want to pick up the Solmane 2 palette, highly recommend. Like I said, I have a brand new one. I'll put the price, how to pay, all of that down in the description box. First come, first serve. First person to pick it up gets it. Beautiful, beautiful summer palette. So those are my top 10 palettes for summer. I probably could have done 20 because I do love a good colorful eye look. You know that, and I reach for colorful palettes a lot. But when I thought about what palettes do I want to use on my eyes this summer, these are the top 10 for me. Again, everything is linked down below for you, along with my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Let me know which one of these is your favorite for summer. Bye.